how do you say your name? Renez?
Yeah.
Okay. You agree with the following statement. Men are not the primary victims of war. That beckons the question, who are the primary victims of war? Are they women?
Well, I think it can be translated back into like a relationship with a woman. So if a man goes to war, you're talking about like legit war, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think that plays an effect on them and like their whole, they actually are a changed person from coming back from something like that, which affects their relationship. So yeah, if they're in a marriage or if they have a girlfriend, then yeah, she's going to absorb some of that. So
she would be the primary victim?
it's not a victim. It's just more like
She's what?
she's just affected by it.
I don't dispute this at all, but the prompt is men are not the primary victims of war. You circled it, indicating you agree with the statement.
Yeah. Well,
So
I'm saying,
who's
well,
the
this is
primary
what I'm
victim
clarifying.
of
Well,
war? it
sure,
men or
I
women?
guess it would be the person serving.
And is that so men or?
Well, I think it does say, yeah, it says it references a man first, right? The statement.
So I don't disagree with you that like a guy who saw horrific things at war could come back and could be suffering from like PTSD, or how that could have an impact on his girlfriend. That's not in dispute. The question is though, who's the primary victim of war? Is it men or is it women?
I mean, yeah, if he's fighting war, yes, I would say him. But I don't know. I guess this is a bigger question as well. Like, how many other people are affected by war in general? But if we're saying, if we're just talking about one person going to battle, then I would say yes.
Well, it's not on the individual level. It's more so the collective level. So
Oh, okay.
if we're looking at gender as a collective, are there more men, like the primary victims of war? Are they men as a collective or women as a collective? Who's the primary victim?
I would say men.
Okay. Got it. So, okay. I mean, if that's your position, then there's not much really to push back on there. Although, how about let's bring it to the individualistic level. So the man went to war, maybe he got an injury or he has PTSD, and that has a really negative impact on his relationship with his girlfriend or wife. Who is the primary, I guess I'll still frame it from primary victim of war. In that circumstance, is it the wife or is it still the man on the individual level?
I would say both.
Okay. So then, using your logic, then could you say that when a woman goes through pregnancy, the woman, obviously that can come with certain side effects. The actual pregnancy itself, giving birth, can be quite painful. And the husband's there in the waiting room with her, and she grabs his hand and squeezes it really tightly. And it's hard for him to see her giving birth. Like that's stressful. Who would you say they're both equally? I'm not going to use the term victim here, but I'm going to use the term suffering. Are both the men and the woman suffering equally?
No.
Who's the primary sufferer of pregnancy?
I would say the woman physically is going through more suffering, physical pain. He might be having emotional pain, but hers is on the physical level. Okay.
But you would agree that oftentimes in war, men do suffer physically?
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
so on the individualistic level, you would probably say in this instance, the man's still probably the victim of war, more so than the wife who deals with the trauma that he's experienced?
More so than the wife.
Like, okay,
Yeah,
he
so
saw
he-
some crazy shit. Maybe he got an injury, whatever. He has PTSD, and that's introduced issues into the relationship. But who's the primary victim of war?
This is such an easy question
Yeah,
to
it's very
answer.
easy.
I'm literally a military kid, and like, yeah, we got affected by my dad, but we didn't get as much. Like, he saw crazy things over there, like in the Middle East. So, somebody trying to argue saying that like the girls at home get like most of the primary victim, that's not the case, because I know what my dad went through. Saw some
I'm
mess
taking
of
the
stuff.
babies back, by the way. CPS told
I
me.
didn't feel
Oh,
maternal
no.
instincts for this one.
My baby. What's his name?
I'm happy.
What's her name? TBD.
Here
TBD.
you go, Felicity. That's your future.
Oh, you can have my baby.
Here, I'll-
Oh, can you not grab the baby by
By the hand.
Oh shit, my bad. Fuck.
Oh no.
That's crazy.
I was
Ryan.
abused. I'm calling
It's a
CPS.
fucking doll.
Well,
Still.
I'm calling CPS.
Yeah.
Don't make me open up one of these windows and drop the baby
Oh my god.
onto the
That's
harsh
crazy.
streets.
Off
Okay.
the balcony.
Thoughts? Any further thoughts on further thoughts?
No, I don't.
But so, I guess to finalize, what's your position? Are women the primary victims of war?
No, men are, if they are the ones that are serving.
No, okay. All right. Nothing else to push back on there. Let's see. Anybody? Here, let me just throw. Women are just as physically strong as men. Does anybody agree with that?
No.
No.
Nobody? Okay. Damn, y'all. Okay. Women are oppressed in the United States. You also agreed with that one. Luna, do you think, are women oppressed in the United States?
I feel like it's a little worse as well in other countries. I think we're getting to that point, especially with Trump in rule and in power. I feel like with the whole like my body, my choice movement going on and all of that, it definitely did bring down the like individuality and power that women did have prior if we are letting men have control over our bodies.
Okay. So you do think women are oppressed in the USA, and it relates to abortion, is just so I understand your
Yes,
position?
I would use
Okay.
abortion as one of my examples.
Okay. All right. And then for you? You said women are oppressed in the USA. Why is that? Or how's
Yeah. Well, I've seen it in corporate. I was in corporate tech for a very long time, and it was very apparent the way that women were treated versus men, pay range. So I've seen it.
What do you mean the pay range?
The pay range for a man versus a woman
Doing the same work?
doing the same exact work.
You know, it's interesting. You mentioned tech companies. At Google, they actually did an internal audit, and they actually found that they were overpaying the women. So would this point to anti-male sexism in tech companies? Like, is that just immediately just sexism towards men?
No, I'd say that it's a known fact. But
What's a known fact? The
that,
wage gap?
yeah.
Okay. I mean, the gender wage gap has been debunked, but do you want to explain to me, I guess, what the gender wage gap is?
You mean overall? Are we
Like,
talking
what is it?
a-
What does that mean that there's a wage gap?
that a woman and a man could be hired for the same exact position, having the same exact qualifications, and the man is being paid more than the woman?
Okay. I mean, since the 60s, there's been laws against this, and if you can prove that this is actually the case, as a woman, you can bring a lawsuit against your employer and be financially rewarded for doing so. I guess what is the wage gap though? Some people throw out different numbers. They say it's 25 cents. Men make 25 cents more. Women earn 80 cents to every dollar a man makes. What is the number that you know of?
I honestly don't know what statistic wise
Okay.
it is right now.
Gotcha.
I've
Do you
also
think that
been
there's a wage gap?
Oh.
You?
Me?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know like specifically what the thing is, but I do think that like in places women get paid less than men. I don't think it's like as great as everyone talks about it as like it is, but I think there is definitely bosses who are wanting to pay the men more. Like I think that it happens for sure. And I think it could happen to men too. Like if a woman's running it, like I think it happens everywhere. So
Yeah, so I mean, they did an analysis on the wage gap. So there's a couple different things. There's the earnings gap, and then there's the gender wage gap. There's controlled and uncontrolled. So if you control for everything, because what the gender wage gap does is it doesn't take into account any variables. It literally just compares all the money that the women make and all the money that the men make, and doesn't take into account hours worked, doesn't take into account geographical location, doesn't take into account the fact that men are more likely to work overtime, to work more hours, they're more likely to relocate, they're more likely to work hazard pay, they're more likely to work jobs that are higher paid, they're more likely to work dangerous and dirty jobs that also tend to be less desirable and end up paying more because of that. So, for example, I mean, there's a lot of other sorts of gaps. There's the male death gap. So men are way more likely to die on the job. So, I mean, I'm sure all of you would, if there's a risk of you dying working a job, you'd probably want to be compensated in a way that was commensurate with the risk that you were undertaking by working a job where there's a risk of injury or death. Most women work comfortable air-conditioned office jobs, whereas there's a much higher proportion of men who are involved in these certain fields where they're literally working. It's either dangerous or it's dirty or in some way.
well, yeah.
So, but the gender wage gap that feminists like to purport doesn't factor in all these variables that actually, when you start to control for all the variables, the wage gap shrinks to 1 cent. Women earn 99 cents to every dollar a man makes. Oh, there's other factors too, like men are more likely to negotiate pay, men go into different fields, this sort of thing. But the big one that I always like to point to, well, hold on, let me just divert really quick. Who here thinks men should pay on for first dates? Raise your hands. Should men pay on first dates? Ellie?
I think it depends
Into the
on.
mic, into the mic.
I think it depends on who asks who on the date.
Yeah.
Have you ever asked a guy out on a date?
No, I haven't.
Have you been asked out on a date?
Yes.
Would there be an expectation if you did accept
If I did accept,
that
then
he should pay?
I would probably expect that it would be compensated. Yes.
Compensated?
Yes,
for the-
comped.
Comped. I like that term.
Okay. What about you?
I agree. If I'm asking, I should pay. If they're asking, they should pay because they're the ones that
How
want
many
to do
first
it.
dates have you been on?
A good amount, like maybe.
What proportion do you ask? And what
Well, I
proportion
date
do they
women as
ask?
well, so I ask a lot because if.
Yeah, just talking about men.
Like probably like, I don't know, like 30% of the time I'm asking.
Okay.
Maybe.
What about you? Should men pay for the first date?
I don't think so. I don't want to be pressured, and also I just want to be equal.
How many first dates have you been on?
A few.
Did you always go 50-50?
No.
The guy paid?
Yeah,
Oh, well, okay.
but I changed my mind because I'm a better person now.
Okay, but all the first dates you've been on, the guy paid for the date.
Mostly, yeah.
And you used to believe previously that the guy should pay for the date.
Yeah.
But that's changed. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
I do believe they should pay for the first date.
And do you ask guys out for first dates?
No,
Have you ever asked a guy on a first date?
no,
How many first dates have you been on?
quite a few.
Yeah,
Like
ballpark.
more than
20, 30, 40, 50?
I would say more than like 20.
More
Maybe
than
like
20.
25.
25. And not one of them you asked them out on.
No,
And the guy paid for all of them.
Yes.
Okay. In your current relationship, on subsequent dates, does he also pay for all other dates too?
Yeah.
Okay. And other guys you've dated in the past, beyond the first date, they also pay for subsequent dates also?
Yes.
Generally? Okay. Luna, how many first dates have you been on?
Quite a few.
Quite a few. What's that mean? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50?
Like in like between like 10 to 15.
10 to 15. And will you go out to dinner? You'll grab pizza? What do you do typically?
It honestly depends on the type of person I am going out with. Like, for example, the guy that wanted more traditional stuff, he always took me out to like really fancy restaurants, where like the minimum of the check was like about $300. And as great as that is, to be treated with such like, I would say like bouginess, I would also rather had appreciated something a little more simpler. Because I feel like when men take you out on really nice dates, they kind of hold this like upper hand on you, that they're spending all this money on you and taking you out to this really nice place. So you kind of have to like owe them something. Not necessarily all the time, but that is what majority of men think. A lot of my first dates, I like especially for a first date, I like to keep it more mellow. Like I've been to like gone to In-N-Out or like Chick-fil-A, like something really easy in which that we would go like 50-50 or just pay whatever we had.
Okay. So have you ever asked a guy out?
Yes.
Okay, but mostly they ask you out.
Yes.
And they pay.
Yes.
Okay.
Unless
and you have a
I
preference?
sometimes offer.
And you have a preference for them to pay?
Not necessarily. I do. That's why I said I like to offer majority of the time. Like, if it's not too big and fancy, I like to offer and I like to keep it even, just in case, like, what if that first date is also our last date? Like, I'd rather them, have like kind of a fair ground between that relationship and not have it where they paid for a really big expensive date and they got really nothing out of it, and then they get mad at you or upset that like you kind of use them for their money or whatever.
Sure. Okay. What about you? Should men pay for first dates?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. How many first dates have you been on?
Probably over 40.
40?
Yeah.
Did you ask out any of the guys for any of those dates?
No.
They always asked you out?
Yeah.
Okay. Did they, and overwhelmingly they paid for the first date?
Yeah.
If you went out with a guy and he asked for 2 checks, would there be a second date?
No.
Okay. So you want guys to pay for first dates?
Yep.
Yep. What about you?
No, not at all. I don't think they should.
You don't think men should pay for first dates?
No.
Okay. Have you ever been on a first date?
Yes.
How many first dates have you been on?
About 5 or 6.
Okay. And did the guy pay for those? Or was it
Yes.
always all the guys paid for them?
I've paid for, I think, 2, and then the
Backed.
rest were paid for fully.
Okay. All right. So tying this back in to and relaying this to the wage gap, I think the wage gap could actually be explained away by women's own sexist dating preferences. How could it, well, you're shaking your head, but how could it not be the case if there's a greater pressure? Like I listed a whole bunch of reasons for why this supposed gender earnings gap could exist, but even kind of ignoring all those and just looking at the intergender dynamics between men and women. If women had a stated preference, like a strong preference, and it doesn't have to be all women, but let's say it's even half of women are like, hey, I want a guy who's a provider. I want a guy who can pay for dates. That places a disproportionate one-directional pressure on men that doesn't exist in the reverse, that doesn't exist from men to women. So, and I think we can all agree here that I think both men and women are really motivated when it comes to dating and finding your person, finding a partner, finding a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever it is. I think in some ways men can oftentimes be even more motivated in some ways, but as it relates specifically to this, even assuming that the motivation to find your person is pretty much equal, there is this component of asymmetry when it comes to preferences. I don't believe that there's symmetry in expectations, preferences, standards, etc. So if women have an asymmetrical standard, which is men should pay for first dates, wouldn't this create a pressure on men to earn more money? Like if the man has to be the provider, the man has to pay for first dates, that creates a pressure on men to perform and to achieve and to make money and to try to be rich or whatever that doesn't exist towards women. So the wage gap can, if it even exists, be entirely explained by all of y'all's preferences.
We could also say it's more expensive to be a woman and that like we deserve more money because we have to do A, B, C, and D to make men happy. You know what I mean? Like our hair and our nails and all that stuff. Like
I think that's a preference.
Wait, so
No, I
hold
know
on.
it's a preference, but I feel like sometimes
do
I'm
women
saying-
do that shit for themselves or do they do it for men?
I know.
Wait, do women wear makeup for themselves or do they do it for men?
You just
Because you like to
cut it
pick
off.
and choose. Hold on.
No, I'm not
Y'all
picking and
women
choosing.
like to pick and choose when it's convenient now for you to say, oh, we wear makeup for you guys.
I'm saying,
but then
like-
you guys switch it up.
I'm saying
you'll
in that
switch it up and
way-
say, no, we do that shit for ourselves.
But if we do. I'm saying there's men who want their woman to look like that. And I'm saying if they want their woman,
Men don't give a fuck about nails.
Not all. I'm saying okay, maybe nails, but they want their woman to keep their. You don't want your woman to get their hair done and keep their looks going and all that stuff. Like
She
it's
can get a haircut. She doesn't need to get the fucking
Well, I'm saying
bullshit
there are
color.
some women who
She doesn't
do
got to do no bullshit color in it.
Some highlight
She can just her natural hair color. I'm telling you, whether she has dark hair, light hair, humans have been procreating for thousands of years before the invention of hair dye. Trust me, you can find a partner, you can find a mate, you can find a boyfriend, you can get some dick. Doesn't matter. You can be bald and get some dick.
Yeah, I think if the guy has those
She knows.
expectations, then it's different.
Bro, all that shit, I'm telling you, look, have good grooming, take good care of yourself, have your hygiene good, but all this extra shit, that's you guys. Guys are simple. We don't care about that shit, really.
That might be you, but a lot of guys do.
No, man.
I know a lot of
It's
guys
debatable.
like
I'm telling
natural
you.
girls. I know that. Yes, natural is a thing, but I mean, I do think that there's people who like that.
There's never been a time where I'm like, oh, damn, she's naturally a brunette, but she's actually a blonde. I didn't want to fuck her, but now I want to fuck her.
Hair is a little different.
Like, that's never been a thought process.
Hair is a little different, but like keeping your nails done and your like
Yeah,
makeup and
the
everything.
fake nails or nail polish, guys don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
Guys don't care. Now, don't have like nasty nails, have good hygiene. But that would apply to men too. I don't think y'all want to date a guy with like nasty fucking nails and shit. But guys don't care about that.
Okay.
But you're getting away from my point a little bit here, which is in order to date, men have to be bringing something financially, at least a little bit. We have to at least be able to pay for the date. That in and of itself, and there's other financial burdens like women's general preference for a provider. Like, let's say it's less than 50%. Let's say 30% of women want to be stay-at-home moms. They don't want to work. So they're going to be looking to a man to be able to fully financially provide. It's not all women, but 30% of women is a fuck ton of women, enough to create a mating pressure on men that, again, asymmetrical does not apply the reverse. Most men, I can't move in the dating marketplace and ever have an expectation that women are going to initiate, that women are going to be paying for dates, that women are going to be providing, that they're going to be okay with me wanting to be a stay-at-home boyfriend, and she's providing everything.
Is there things that you are looking like? That's the thing. Like maybe in a woman's, that's what they're looking for, but it's the same thing. Men are looking for certain things too. I think
Sure.
they're more. Like we're like, oh, we want a man who takes care of us. Oh God, like you know what I mean. Like, but men, they like very picky on looks and like what's on the outside. I feel like, you know what I mean. Like we're like, we want a man who takes care of us, like to be a provider and a husband. I feel like also you want a wife that cooks you dinner and folds your clothes sometimes. Like I think
Right.
a girl who
Sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes.
See, that's-
all the time.
Okay, that's the thing. I think that's okay if you want your wife to fold your clothes, but you need to be providing for her. You don't want your
Yeah.
wife. Yeah. So that's
You're
what I'm saying.
right.
It should be an equal.
But we're having a conversation about the wage gap, and I'm saying the two things really can't be true at the same time. Women can't say, I want a guy who earns more than me. I want a guy to provide. I want a guy to pay for dates, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But also, women should be paid equally. It literally, those two things do not mesh.
I get what you're saying.
They literally cannot mesh.
You're
Are you
saying that. Go ahead.
Are you saying that you're putting a price tag on women who, let's say they are stay-at-home moms and they do that route, that's not worth anything in terms of like a monetary?
When did I say that?
No, I'm asking.
Okay, what are you asking?
That's what I'm asking you.
What are you
Do you
asking?
think do you think that there's not a monetary type like amount that equates to a woman choosing to be the nurturer, to choosing to carry babies, choosing to be a mom, like all of that comes with, like, maybe it's not, the whatever he makes $1 million a year, that maybe it's not exactly a 1-for-1, but are you putting a price tag on that for a woman?
I don't see how that pertains to the conversation at hand, but I suppose I'll engage with your question. It doesn't really pertain. It's sort of off in the distance, something else that's not really related to the wage gap conversation.
It's totally a wage gap conversation.
How is it?
If
how
a
would it
woman, if a woman is deciding not to work and be a stay-at-home mom, then yeah, you're removing her from making money.
Okay, so and?
Well,
But what's the argument? What?
You're bringing it back to a wage gap, and it feels like you're not giving any credit to the women that actually want it, that are giving up, say, their careers to stay home, to take care of him, to do the dinners, to do all of that.
Wouldn't that mean the men do need to make more money? I mean, in that kind of
Absolutely,
scenario, like the men would,
they need to provide.
yeah. So,
Well, it's like two separate conversations. So, I mean, yeah, if a woman gives up her career, yeah, I guess I acknowledge that a woman would give up her career to be a stay-at-home mom, but I'm more so arguing from the perspective of, you guys are claiming that there's a gender wage gap, and I'm saying, well, there's a whole bunch of reasons for why that is, not due to sexism. Well, I would argue it's due to women's sexism. How would it not be a sexist statement to be like, I think, okay, is it sexist for a guy to say, I think a woman should cook and clean? Is that a sexist statement?
I don't think so.
they were like, I'm gonna make, like, I don't
No.
think if they.
But I think a woman should do X. Is that sexist?
No.
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 A woman should make me a sandwich.
See that? We're talking about in like in a relationship. Like if he's like in this relationship, she should do these things. Like this is what I don't think that's sexist, but like in that tone, like being like, go make me a sandwich. That's a little, you know what I mean? Like if it's like a equal back and forth, it's okay that you're both asking for stuff. You know.
But okay, if holding women to traditional gender roles is a form of sexism, then holding men to traditional gender roles must also be a form of sexism.
Yeah, but I didn't say it was sexism. I said it's not.
Right, but so the argument here is the gender wage gap, women earn less money because of sexism. And I'm prepared to agree with you, but it's because women have a sexist traditional gender expectation on men that men be providers and men pay for dates.
Oh, you're saying it's sexist to make that like that we think that you're saying, and it's not sexist.
I mean, people have different sense of sexism. I personally am fine with traditional gender dynamics, but if you're going as women going to disregard and kind of throw away your traditional gender roles, why can't men throw away theirs?
You can.
Okay,
Yeah.
then why do all these women who are probably, we have a lot of women who are still, who I would categorize as progressive and liberal and feminist and believe in equality. Why do you want men to pay for first dates? Like, how do you believe women should be paid the same, but also believe men should pay for first dates?
Like, do you
Why?
think, Like, do you think it's okay, like, if a guy took you on a date, like, didn't tell you where you're going, and then you get to the date and the bill is $300, and then he's like,
It's a
split
great red herring. I love the red herring. Doesn't answer my question
No,
at
there's-
all.
I'm saying,
So,
I said that I don't mind paying. If I think if the person asks, you should pay. If I ask, you should pay. Like, I'm not paying for a date that wasn't my
back
idea.
Back to my question.
Okay.
So, why is it, like, how do we reconcile women saying men and women should be paid equally, but men should still pay for me socially?
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. It doesn't make sense. I understand what you're saying. Like,
Okay.
I get that. But I think a woman's allowed to want a guy to date and want a guy to be a provider. Like, I think you're allowed to want these things, and then you just date.
But
that fits in that.
But so how is a guy supposed to provide
without getting paid more.
without getting paid more?
Yeah, I agree. I think if you want a man to do those things, then they need to be in a job that.
Well, and it's also not even that men are being paid more. The other component is just if you double the labor pool. So if before, there was still female participation in jobs, but essentially you had what happened 50s, 60s, 70s, the labor pool doubled. Okay, wages are going to stagnate. And now, in the past, you could support a family on one income. You could support a family, and the income didn't even necessarily have to be all that high. You could work as, a certain wage of job. Now, even sometimes two people who are, I'm trying to think of like a wage range. You have to be an exceptionally high earner to support a family on one income.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
I didn't put that argument
I don't know
down,
how you
so-
reconcile women should be paid equally, but men should pay for first dates. Men should be providers.
I agree.
How can we provide if you double the labor pool? That's going to start causing a lot of. Look, I'm not saying that women shouldn't work. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying one of the downstream effects of feminism and having women enter the workforce. Again, I'm in favor of women working, but when it comes to dating, if we're going to move society in a progressive direction, there can't be a continued expectation that men are going to even economically or financially even be able to provide that which existed in the 1950s, when we've done away with the 1950s expectation that men are going to be the dominant participants in the labor pool.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying the views should change based off what today's world is like how.
I'm just saying, if you're going to be feminist,
you gotta be
can't
realistic.
be feminist until the check comes. You got to pony up. You got to pay half the bill. Why are you shaking your head?
No,
Tell me why.
absolutely not. Sorry. That's why I go back to saying masculine men. Masculine men will always pick up that tab no matter what. They have no problem picking up that tab, and they will actually never let a woman pay for it, especially if it's his
I love
woman.
this. Yes.
He will not let her pull out her wallet ever.
So what do men owe to women?
Nothing.
Well,
what do you mean?
You're saying a masculine man would never let a woman pay. So he has some degree of, there's a female-driven expectation on men.
I'm saying there's a certain caliber of man that exists out there that...
What does he get in return for being a masculine man?
To be in the presence of a woman.
A woman. But shouldn't he... Okay, so what do women have to do? What is a woman's duty? You're saying a man has a duty to pay for first dates, to be a provider, to be a masculine, all these things. What do women have to do?
Show up. Be
That's
a
it?
woman. Be the woman.
Just show up?
That like.
What if I said
do you
that? I just have
understand
to
what it is?
show
Such a
up.
privilege it is to
it's a
even
privilege.
be.
Okay,
To
so
have
women
a
are
very.
privileged.
Yeah. No. Yes.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, I do. I do believe that. Yeah. On both spectrum, like on the man and the woman side, it is a privilege to have a strong, loving, nurturing woman in your life. And I will tell you that the ways that we provide for a man, even though it is not monetary, you cannot put a price tag on that.
What do you do? Tell me what you do. You said
I'm talking about emotional availability. I'm talking about providing like a place of peace, of wellness, of. I mean, there's a lot that women do that it's not just directly related to a dollar. Doesn't equate to monetary.
Okay, so should women be submissive?
If they want to, if that's the role that they want to play.
Okay, well then, why can't I say the same thing about men? If that's the role they want to play. Okay.
That's not the man. Okay, sure.
Okay, so I guess here's the two paradigms. We can agree that there's all kinds of different people. There's men who are more or less masculine. But that masculine guy who's a leader, who's going to pay for first dates, what does that guy deserve from a woman? In the same way that she's getting the things that you listed that would be a fair expectation for the woman to have.
Well, I think if he's going into it looking for a long-term partner versus we're not talking just like hookups, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So if we're looking at it from the long game, then I don't see a reason as to why a man would not want to show up in that capacity for a woman. By being the provider, by being the first to throw a credit card down or whatever it is for a first date. Like, show her that you have the ability to take care of her. And if you can't do that on date one, then you probably shouldn't be dating. Like, don't come to the table unless you can be able to throw that card down.
I agree. I think, also coincidingly, women should be prepared to be submissive right away. And you know what? If she comes back to your place on the first date, she should fold your laundry. She should fold your laundry. She should clean your house. She should do all that. But let me ask you this. Do you ever want to get married? You?
No. Not traditional. Not traditionally. So not in like in a church or anything like that. Like a.
But you want the state. You want a state marriage.
No, I don't want a state marriage.
Oh. Okay, and just curious, any
Not
reason
legally.
why not?
I don't want to be tied to the legal system. Yeah, I just don't.
Okay, so don't want to be tied to a legal system.
Yeah.
Okay, who here wants to get married? Just show of hands really quick. Yes, maybe. Show of hands, show of hands. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Wait, really quick, let's do this. Show of hands again. Just who wants guys to pay for the first date? Show of hands, raise them high. Luna, didn't you? No, I thought. Okay. Really? It was just you and you three who wanted. I thought there was more of you who wanted.
Shit.
Yeah, that's men. Duh.
I asked men on dates all the time.
You said it was 30-70. So
Yeah, because
men
I get
ask you
asked-
more.
Yeah, because I'm not asking unless I really want to go on a date with them. That's what I'm
Right,
saying.
but you get asked out more by men.
Yeah.
This idea of whoever asked should pay would make sense if there was somewhat approaching similar rates of men and women asking each other out. So even if it was 60-40, men asked out a little bit more, I could get behind whoever asked should pay. It's like 95, it might even be 99% to 1. That's the differential between how many times the rate at which men initiate first dates versus the rate women initiate first dates.
In that opposite direction, do you think they should split the bill, or do you think that we should pay the bill? Like, if you ask someone on a date, are you splitting the bill? Or are you wanting them to, like, what's the argument? You know what I mean? Like, if you're not paying, are you splitting, or you want them to pay?
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? You're saying we're not allowed to have a guy want to, like, he asked me on a date, I want him to pay the date. If that's not how it's going, do you think we should split it, or do you think we should be the one offering to pay because they asked us?
Look, I'm fine with guys who are paying for first dates. What I'm contending with is the argument of whoever asks should be the one to pay, but it conveniently ignores that men are overwhelmingly the initiators. So as women, you have this sort of benefit where you can move through life and like never ever ask a guy out, and you'll have plenty of guys, constant flow. Most men, if they never asked a girl out, that's the end of their fucking bloodline.
Not the end of the bloodline.
Like, most men are not getting asked out by women. It is what it is. So I'm saying to just hand wave away, oh, well, whoever asked should pay. Again, it just ignores this kind of intergender dynamic where men are overwhelmingly the initiators. I'm going to get right to it. I had one final point here really quick. So you wouldn't bow for the perfect man.
I would not bow.
For the perfect man.
No.
The perfect man, the entailment here could be he's a trillionaire, super hot, fucking amazing, but all you have to do to get him, aside from just being you and all your other positive characteristics and traits, you just have to bow. That's it.
If he would bow, I would bow.
No.
Okay, then it's a no.
But no, the entailment
If he's not gonna do-
he won't. That doesn't. It doesn't make sense. But just to be clear, he's a trillionaire.
Who cares? I'm
Who
sorry.
cares? I don't.
I'm bowing.
Trillionaire. Your life.
And bark.
You never have to work. This is like
Gold.
1,000-year dynasty levels of wealth. You never have to work a day again in your life. Everything is taken care of. You're not even gonna have to cook and clean for him. He has servants he's got servants for the servants.
Ooh. So you just get to live.
All you have to do is bow. You don't do it?
You mean bow every day?
Once a day.
No. I'm sorry.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If there was a job that paid you $1 million and you were a greeter at the front of a restaurant, and for some reason this restaurant was like really, really stupid with their finances, and part of this greeting procedure at the restaurant is to greet each and every single guest that comes through the restaurant, you just have to do like a bow and they'll pay you $1 million. Would you do it?
Would I be a professional bower
Yeah.
for a restaurant for $1 million?
Or it could be a greeter at the front of like a Walmart or something. Like I know it's a bit like silly or whatever, but you're
Yeah,
getting
it's
paid
totally
for
out of the
it.
question. I mean, it's
And it's $1 million. Would you do it?
no.
You
Yeah.
wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't.
So you'll wave your hands around people doing Reiki and shit for 1 hour, and you charge like a couple $100, but you won't be paid. You won't get paid a $1 million salary to bow. Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really get it, but
Your opinion.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I feel like
what I
she
wouldn't
stood
do.
her ground.
how about
The
for
money's
10?
not worth
Would you do it
the
for 10?
respect
doesn't
for
matter.
her.
Would you do it for 10 million?
No, it's not it.
You wouldn't. By the way, a bow is not like a degrading thing to do in any capacity, but certainly in like a work capacity. If like the job was like, oh, you just have to do a little bow as you greet the people that come in, you wouldn't do that
That's
for 10
not the job
million?
for me then. No. That's
For
not what
$10
I'm
million?
No, that's not what I'm looking to do in this life. So pass.
What?
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I just
it's
move
just a
on.
pass.
It's just a pass.
Bruh.
Every situation.
I respect that money is not important to you like that.
Absolutely
that you
not.
have these values.
I
and-
would quit this fucking
This is
podcast right now. If I could get paid $10 million to just bow to people at the front door
And
of
that's
a
you.
But
restaurant.
I feel like it's
What?
not about the money for her. It's just
Yeah.
about her like inner morals and
Yeah,
what she
respect
believes.
yourself.
What? Make the moral argument for why it would be immoral
It's
to
an ego
bow. It's an ego thing?
That's
Yeah.
100%.
If it was any other motion, like maybe a handshake when you're greeting them, would that be different? Would you do that for $10 million?
No, because I'm not like, okay, this is about what I'm supposed to. This is about like just purpose, having purpose in life, and my
Yeah.
purpose isn't to shake someone's hand for money, isn't to bow to someone for money. So this
your
is purpose.
Your purpose is to like sell snake oil to fucking. I'm sorry,
That's
Reiki.
her purpose, though. That's the thing. Like you're taking it deeper than like if she doesn't want to bow to someone because that's what money is important to me. So I'm bowing. Okay, it's not important to her, and that's not her worth. So she doesn't want to do it, and that's okay.
So beautiful.
Thanks, Sally.
I appreciate it. I mean, if that's not,
just
If she don't want to do it,
then that's her life.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand. It's ridiculous to you. I'm like, girl, 10 million.
no judgment. No judgment if you want to bow. Like, go for
I don't
it.
judge you for not wanting
Go
the
for
money.
it.
Not financially smart.
I agree with that, but I think it's like you must be really happy with what you're doing right now, and I love that for you. Then love that.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm so happy that you love that.
That's crazy. $10 million, dude. That's like you could work for a year and be good, and then do your purposeful work for fucking free or something.
Wait, 10 million a year?
Yeah, it's 10 million in a year.
Oh wow.
You work for 1 year, you're set.
bow.
Who wouldn't do that? You wouldn't do it for a year just to set yourself up with 10 mil?
No.
No, my life's purpose I can't pause it for a fucking year to create generational wealth. I don't understand the
But
logic.
why? But who cares? That's not
As long
that's
as she's happy
Yeah,
with what
like,
she wants
I
to do,
understand
that
what
is
you're
her
saying.
decision.
Bro.
Okay, if she had like a sick family member that was like and needed 10 million to survive, and then she wouldn't do it, then I'll be like, okay, I'm judging because like he needs it to. But if she is happy and taking care of herself and doesn't want the 10 million, who gives a
Bro,
fuck?
I
Like,
would be
I
thinking.
don't give a fuck.
I would be thinking bigger picture. Like, okay, let's say you have this side, this passion that you want to do,
God.
and it's really not about the money. It's like in my mind, I would just be like thinking about it logically and analytically. Okay, I can't do it for a year, but for that year, I'm gonna go ahead and set myself up that I can do that thing more, or I can invest in that thing and start like a fucking business, and I have this slush fund of $10 million to fulfill my dream of making this thing bigger.
Absolutely.
With these resources that I'm gaining through I don't know. That's just, I wouldn't, you don't have a job?
I have
Like-
many. I
has
have
a
many
business.
jobs
She has a whole
actually.
No, but I mean, like, do you have like a normal job? I know you do, you have a couple hustles and stuff. Do you have like a main gig? What's your main gig?
No, that's my world. Yes, I make money. That's how I make money.
The Reiki.
It's not just, no, it's not just Reiki.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
All right, I'll leave it. I mean, I'll leave it there. I'm just saying.
Let the girl be happy.
I
I
would
know.
do
I
it.
feel like you should just drop it
Yeah.
because we got a girl with a concussion that's got.
They got a headache.
Yeah.
All right. well,
Yeah. So he's like sitting here staring in front of a screen.
this is why the wage gap exists. Okay.